Welcome to the home of the DIY movement, where we build stuff and paint things.
All right, y'all, it's way back Wednesday. Welcome back. Where we last left off was the hydraulic install on the 62. Now, of course, this picture was after the car was done and sold, but I was trying to keep it in chronological order. So once the hydraulics were installed and working, then it was time for kind of final assembly of the car, meaning, glass and namely headliner. But man, you guys saw when I got this car, it was already, a complete running and driving car, man. So there really wasn't a whole lot to do outside of, swapping the frame and painting it. Well, that's a lot of work in itself, but basically what you just saw right now was, I re-dyed a lot of the interior panels, just cleaned them up, soap and water, alcohol or whatever, and then spray bombed them with vinyl dye. And man, it brought them back to life, and they look perfectly fine, man. So that's one way of doing it. You don't have to go and buy an interior kit and rewrap stuff and all that. If the stuff is not torn, if it's just faded or dirty, just clean it and just vinyl dye it, man, for like, $10 a can, and you're back in business. Looking at this picture right here, I'm just kind of mocking things up. Carpet needs to go first, but man, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I encourage people to save money. That's what the channel's all about. Is, if you can get away with cleaning stuff up, putting it right back on, man, do that. Like, save money. Saving money is making money, is what I always say. Here in this picture, I was preparing to install the side glass. So the roof rail, I don't even think we took the drip rail off of the car when we painted it. I'm not sure. But the roof rail, that goes back real easy, screws right back in place. But the side glass, mainly quarter window, I learned a lot that day, and I want to say this was on Thanksgiving. I want to say this was on Thanksgiving Day, or it might have been the Friday after Thanksgiving. And I was out here working by myself. I was like, man, the glass came out like really easy, man. A few bolts, boom, boom, pulled it right out. Should be able to throw it right back in, you know what I mean, in 10 minutes each side. And that wasn't the case. That was the first time of me trying to put glass in the car. And boy, did I have a hard time with that quarter window, man. What I was trying to do, I had the tracks bolted up in the quarter panel, and then I was trying to feed the glass into the tracks. And I don't know if that's possible. If it is, it's really hard, or maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but it's a hell of a lot easier, which you guys saw when we did the install on Bobby's car here a couple weeks ago. It's way easier to have the track loose in the quarter panel and bring the glass down to the track and then bolt the track up to the car with the glass in the track. Having the track bolted to the car, then trying to put the glass in, is going to give you a lot of problems. Now, maybe there's a quick way to do it that I don't know yet, but the way I just described to you is easy and it works. Otherwise, man, it took me, a few hours to figure that out, man. I was cussing. I'm out here by myself, fresh paint on the car. I'm trying not to scratch it, just, man. But I prevailed, and I got the side glass in. Next up was driver's side. After doing the passenger side, the driver's side went a lot easier. But also what's key is, this glass had came out of this car, so it came out and we're putting it right back in. That's a big factor when putting these cars together, man. And that goes back to buying the car, man. If you can buy the car complete, or at least with all of its original parts, you're going to have a lot easier time when it comes to put the thing together. You start mixing and matching from different cars, I mean, some stuff is made in different plants in the country, you know, back then, all over the country. Repop is made out of the country. And you're trying to piece together stuff. Stuff needs trimming. Stuff needs bending. Stuff needs finessing. And at the end of the day, it still won't fit like an original part. I mean, it'll be really, really close, some stuff. But some stuff is so far off, man. You have to do so much doctoring to it to get it to fit that you're better off trying to search and maybe pay a little bit more for an OEM part, whether it be, you know, window regulator or you know, trim or panel, door, you know, hood. So being that all these parts came off of the car, the glass mainly, and going right back in the car, the fit and finish ended up, you know, pretty nice. You know, here we are, first time gonna install the back glass, which coming up here in a week or two, we're gonna be doing the same thing to Bobby's car, man. So here we are 15 years later, still doing the same thing, man. There it is, installed, boom, snap your fingers and it's done, right? I've got a few videos on this process. Basically, we do the string method. It doesn't require any tools other than a long piece of string and the window gasket and the window itself. I could probably link some in the description for that process, or you can stay tuned for the next week or so. When we do this on Bobby's car, we'll have a brand new video for it. But reuse the back glass. I remember I had to buy a new windshield because I didn't know how to remove the windshield. I didn't realize you could just push on it, and if the gasket is old or you cut around the gasket, then you push on it and the windshield will come out. I took a screwdriver against my better judgment to the corner of it to try and pry on it, and it cracked the windshield just like that. So I think that thing is still in the back, man, back behind my fence where I threw it that back then. I think the cracked windshield's still there. It's probably settled into the ground pretty good. But yeah, so front and back glass is in. You know, here's the front windshield. Same process, string method, same stainless, went right back on. I didn't delete the wipers. We didn't do anything to the firewall in this car. Now you guys watch the channel, we shave the firewalls on pretty much everything we do. So still had wipers, you know, brand new windshield, looked great. Man, I remember, man, looking at this picture right here. Back then I used to drink Bud Light, right? A lot of blue cans. And man, I mean, now, you know, you're looking at this, man, it's painted. All the panels are on the car. The glass is getting installed. And man, I used to sit right there on the couch and just drink Bud Light and stare at it, man. And it's like, man, this thing is actually coming together, you know? It's like, never really thought that it was actually going to happen, you know? And, you know, looking at it right now, this picture right here, you know, that car had a 44-inch moonroof with black glass. And in this picture, it's kind of hard to tell. So that was a testament to the blocking that I did, you know, on the roof, which we're going to get into that here at the end of the video. But it's coming together for sure, for sure. These pictures are probably out of order, man. I'm sorting through about 40 pictures for this video here, so probably out of order, man. But what I did here was I bought some chrome plated parts from a guy, I believe in Canada. This is, yeah, we must have put the back in before we put the window in. I got them from Canada. He got them from Brent, Mr. Impala, and the chrome was good. I mean, you know, looking back now, or you know, what I would do now is I really don't care for the whole chrome tail panel thing because it's wavy. You know, I mean, I haven't seen one that wasn't wavy. Let's put it like that, man. New, repop or original, I really haven't seen one that doesn't look wavy, man. And it just kind of takes away from the paint job if you have this super wavy panel in the back of the car. So I do things different now. Let's just say that. But you know, the tail panel, the quality was nice, man. For being aluminum, it was pretty good. New tail lights, and then from that guy in Canada, I also got I don't even remember his name, but I also got the headlight bezels, which goes back to what I just said a minute ago. about using parts from your car, from original parts to the car, because them headlight panel or headlight what am I trying to say? Headlight bezels, they did not fit good, and they don't fit good on a lot of 62s. You look at a lot of 62s and they just don't fit good. They need to be worked to the fender and then chrome plated, or just need to be mocked up is what I'm trying to say. But I see that on a lot of 62s, man. The headlight bezels fit like ass. Here we are, like I say, picture's probably out of order, but picture the headlight bezels. Man, they look good. They're shiny, but you can see right there in that bottom corner, it's got a pretty significant little gap between the fender and the headlight bezel. So, and what sucks about chrome and that stuff, chrome and aluminum, is, man, you can't really crank down on it to force it in place with the clips, because your chrome plating is going to flake right off of that aluminum. It's super delicate. You need to mock the parts up and make the parts fit to the car, and then hope that your chrome shop doesn't tweak the parts when polishing them, or hope that it doesn't rip out of the polisher's hand on the buffer and fly across the shop. And now so chroming aluminum is very delicate, and it's very expensive, and it doesn't last like chroming steel, so it's a show thing. It's a show thing. Back bumper time. Man, back then you used to get the bumpers re-chrome 3-piece for $350. Now it's double. Quality is still the same, still excellent quality, but man, it used to be a lot cheaper. And I get it, man. EPA, crack down on them. The price of groceries went up. Everything has gotten expensive. Homes have gotten expensive. So I get it that they have to charge more money. It just sucks. Or, it makes you look back and say, man, we used to get that chrome for $350. Used to get that ADEX for $375. Used to do a lot of things. You know what I mean? Way cheaper. But nonetheless, back end is complete. Lights work, which is a big pet peeve of mine, man. I see a lot of high-end cars. I really don't want to make this video a diss video, but I'm sure you guys who follow a lot of the stuff, online, see a lot of high-end cars, and the taillights don't work, or one is lighter than the other, or you ain't got no reverse lights, no brake lights. To me, it's the little things like that make or break the car. And I'll tell you right now, it's 99% of the time, it's almost always a ground issue. It's never a power issue. If it was a power issue, then the light wouldn't be on at all. If the light is dim and the others are bright, it's a ground issue. So super easy to fix, man. Super easy to fix. But, I like to have all the lights working. I like to have the low beams working, the high beams working, turn signals, brake lights, reverse lights, which do take some effort with the neutral safety switch adjustment and all that. But it's nothing that can't be done. Like I said in previous videos, this is, coming up on 65-year-old technology, man. So it's not hard. Proceeding to put the interior back in, man. Door panels went right back on. Reused the same carpet. I think I ended up pressure washing it and put it right back in, man. Seats were good. Power seat was good. So the interior went together for the most part pretty simple, pretty straightforward, man. But the one of the things that I was dreading, or racking my brain of how we're gonna do this, was the headliner. So you guys remember the car had a 44-inch moonroof, and I love when people can put an original style headliner with bows in it, but with no bows. The pattern looks like it has bows. I love that look, man, and I can't achieve that myself. I know upholstery shops probably could. I attempted it. I bought a headliner vinyl headliner with a little star pattern or whatever. And I tried, man, and it looked terrible. It looked terrible. So I really love that look. Original style headliner with a 44-inch moonroof. That's timeless for me. But so I was like, man, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about this headliner, man? Gotta have one. All right. So back then there wasn't really a whole lot of information. Yeah, this fool on headliner stuff, right? So I remember reaching out to a guy. Gosh, I can't remember his name. On Lay It Low, he had a 44 and a 62. He did his headliner, and he used basically like pegboard material, which I believe it's called masonite. It's like a board but with no peg holes, and just glue it to that, and then hang that up and tuck it on the sides, and you're done, right? So I was like, okay, we'll try that. So here we are. You can see the old headliner up in the top left corner, the vinyl stuff. I think that's what that is. So man, don't know what to do, so let's just take some measurements, cut a board that fits, glue some fabric, cut a hole in it, and see what happens. You know what I mean? And this was right around the time that Bobby started coming around. So this is kind of funny, man, because I had to hit him up to get some of these pictures, and I was like, man, send me the best picture of the headliner you got. And that's what he sent. So right there, Bobby's looking like a middle school kid who walked home from the bus stop and showed up at the shop and kind of been coming over since, man. So that's, pushing 14 years or so that he's been coming over here and, helping out. So me, him, and Joe, the guy that taught me the fundamentals of paint work, we installed the headliner, man, and I thought it looked pretty damn good. So here it is, man. Basically, like I say, what we did was we glued the fabric to the board, and then somehow we attached the board to the moonroof tub. I think I used zip ties, if I remember right. I think I drilled little holes, and then I put zip ties, so it was kind of like suspended. And then the sides, you just tuck behind all the headliner molding, all the roof rail stuff, which in this picture right here is painted black. And it didn't look bad, man. I was like, well, shit, man, we're getting somewhere. Like the more little steps we did, the better it kept looking. And I'm like, man, I could live with this. Like it's either that or take the car to an upholstery shop and have them do it and hope the car don't get scratched, or so this was early stages of DIY movement. It's like from early on I was like, man, I'm not taking the car nowhere. If I can avoid it. I'm not saying I'll never do that, but if I can avoid it, I'm not taking the car anywhere. So here's the headliner, man. It doesn't look bad. The color was probably a tad off, but it's all red inside, and with the dome lights on, when you open the door and all that, and it all flowed together, man. So boom. So we're just breaking down barriers, man. We did the frame off. We did the first paint job. We did the first headliner, back glass, front windshield, side glass, rear end swap with the Versailles, so a narrowed rear end, first 10 battery setup. We're just knocking down all these barriers, man, with this one car, which that goes back to when I first started this series, man. This was the turning point for me as far as putting cars together. This was it. This was a turning point. At the same time, a huge learning experience, and it was fun. It was fun. All right, so the car is assembled. I missed some steps, but you guys get the idea. The car is assembled. If you follow the channel, if you see me on Lay It Low, then you remember these pictures. So man, you can ask yourself, well, damn, you did all that work, and then what? You know, like, and that's kind of a fork in the road that I found myself at. Was like, man, okay, so this is what I wanted to do, and I did it. Well, now what? Like, what's next? You know? And I sold the car. And the reason I sold the car was because, man, back to the bodywork on the roof and the way the glass fit and everything was nice. The filler cracked. The filler cracked on the roof. So now, you know, when we do the roofs, which we've only done a couple, I like to have the tub completely bolted into the car and then do your body work. Because what happened with this car was I did the body work with no moonroof bolted in. I mean, the skin was grafted in, and then I started body work. Okay. What happened when we bolted the tub in, it pinched up, or it moved metal a little bit, you know, the tension of the bolts tightening, and cracked filler on the roof. It was very disappointing for me. I felt like somebody kicked me in the balls, because all that time, man, I'm talking hours and hours and hours of blocking the roof, right? Because when I started this paint job, we started on the roof. I didn't own a DA. Okay, so I put fiberglass over the welded seam, and I had to sand all that fiberglass by hand because I didn't own a DA. So sanding fiberglass, you know, Duraglass with 80 grit takes a long ass time. Then you put your regular filler and then you block that. You know, it's just a lot of blocking on the roof of the car to get it slick as glass, which it was. You guys saw the video or the picture, only for it to crack when we bolted the moonroof in. And I was like, man, shit, man, you know, like, damn, why'd this happen? And, you know, that's why it happened. And it could have been repaired, I suppose. I mean, you could mask it off and repaint the roof, which, you know, looking back now, or, you know, in what I know today, that's pretty easy to do. But you'd have to dig it all out and then, you know, reapply it or whatever. And who knows if it's going to crack somewhere else. Or just basically, it was a failure in the welding process of grafting the skin, which goes back to, remember, I traded a car for a little hoopty for that work. So things, you know, that it just festered in my mind. I'm like, man, you know, that's what happened. It festered in my mind. And the car looked great. I mean, in these pictures, it looks, you know, it looks like a damn good car. I'd probably put it in the show and win something, you know. But that bothered me, because back to what I said, where you want things that are eye level, you want them 100%. So I was like, man, I'm going to sell the car, right? I put it online, and it sold like in a day, I think, or maybe 2 days. It sold really quick to a guy in San Antonio, which we still keep in touch. And I got even money, you know what I mean? So I got all my money back. I think I might have made $1,000 or something, but I know for sure I got all my money back. It was a huge learning experience. I learned so much as far as what to do, what not to do. Didn't learn everything, but it was definitely a learning experience. And you get all your money back. I mean, to me, that's not a loss. That's a win, because you gain the knowledge. Now you acquire the tools, and now, you know, now you're getting somewhere. You built the car never left the house. So, you know, now you can do it again. Like I've said before in the previous way back Wednesdays, whatever you do once, you can do it again. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna walk away, even money, get my money. And now I got a little stack, you know, I think it was 20 grand. And let's do it again. And that's kind of the way it's been for the last almost 15 years. It's let's do it again, and let's do it again, and let's do it again. And so that's what we're doing, man. So Hope you guys enjoyed this way back Wednesday. This is going to be the last video for the Rooster 62. We did it. We did a frame off first paint job, and this was the end result, minus the flaw in the roof. The owner was very happy with it. The new owner, I should say. It's traded hands a few times. I have no idea where the car ended up. I honestly don't care where it's at because it's been so long. You know, I've moved on from it, but it was definitely fun. We took our money and we move on to the next one, man. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned for the next Way Back Wednesday, where we just dive off into a whole nother project. Thanks for watching.